is encouraging their troops to stay combat ready by using some of the video games that are out there. One veteran described the video game Call of Duty as the ultimate first-person shooter experience ever. It was intensive and highly realistic. The choices of attacking with stealth or unleashing an all-out frontal assault full of mayhem is yours. It's violent, it's chaotic, it's beautiful. That's how we described it. Violence ruined humanity in Noah's day, and it's ruining people today. Like Noah, take steps to protect yourself and your families. Your choices of entertainment really reveal to Jehovah your view of violence. Keep separate from the world that will be destroyed. Let's look at the second way in which Noah prepared for survival. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 6. Genesis 6. And look at the ending of verse 9. There it says, Noah walked with the true God. What does that mean? Well, we know God didn't reside on the earth, and Noah wasn't miraculously taken to heaven, but rather, Noah obeyed Jehovah. He loved Jehovah so much that it could be said that they walked with one another. They had a close friendship with God. Have you ever had one of those friends where you just thought like you could start the sentence, but they could finish it for you? Well, Noah and Jehovah had similar thinking. You see, he had been righteous, thinking like Jehovah for nearly 500 years. He knew the way he thought, he anticipated direction, and he didn't allow the world to somehow mold his thinking. So what's the lesson for us? Well, like Noah, we live in a world that promotes ungodly thinking. Morality? Well, that's old-fashioned, right? We need to have modern families and be accepting of them. Independent thinking is promoted. But to walk with God means we need to think like God. To survive, we have to obey direction. How was the third way that Noah prepared his family for survival? Well, let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. We're going to look at the event Noah is most well known for. Hebrews chapter 11. And let's read verse 7. Hebrews 11 and verse 7. There it says, by faith, Noah, after receiving divine warnings of things not yet seen, showed godly fear, and constructed an ark for the saving of his household. And through this faith, he condemned the world, and he became an heir of righteousness that results from faith. Now, how many hours do you think Noah worked on this ark during a week? Well, we know it was a considerable amount of time. The work took decades. They estimate maybe 40 or 50 years to complete the project. And the ark was enormous. It was 437 feet long. It was 73 feet wide, 44 feet high. It had 3 different levels inside of it. You know, if you were to stand the ark up on end, it would be about 187 feet taller than the Denny's building in downtown Spartanburg. It would be 88 feet taller than any building in South Carolina. How many trees do you think Noah had to cut down? And as you can tell by the artwork, he didn't have a chainsaw. He didn't have power tools. He had no Home Depot to go to. He had no sawmill that could take these trees and turn them into 2x4s. No metal scaffolding that he could set up so he could work in a comfortable manner. Everything he did was done by hand. Noah exercised his faith. He didn't procrastinate, even though he didn't know the exact date that the flood would come. So what's the lesson for you and I? Well, like Noah, we have to exercise our faith. And spiritually speaking, see, Jehovah has given us an ark that we need to construct. And what are the materials that we need to use? Daily Bible reading. We want to make sure we're at all the meetings. Family worship, prayer, the field ministry, applying Bible principles. Now, can you imagine if Noah took a shortcut? If he didn't follow the instructions specifically given to him by God? And the instructions were very detailed. The dimensions that we talked about, Jehovah told him the exact type of wood he should use, how to waterproof the ark, the design of the interior, when to load the animals, how much food they would need, how much food Noah and his family might need. So how about you and I? You see, are we taking shortcuts? Are meetings optional? Family worship hit and miss? Is Bible reading a daily habit? Now, can you imagine how Noah must have felt after he got done constructing this ark? 50 years of hard work, and day for inspection has arrived. Jehovah is looking over the ark. And then notice what he had to say about the efforts of Noah. Turn with me back to Genesis chapter 6. Genesis 6 and verse 22. Genesis 6, verse 22. It says, and Noah did according to all that God had commanded him. He did just so. What a relief for Noah. That all the effort he put forth gained God's approval. So how about us? Think of the effort you put forth throughout your entire life. As we talked on Tuesday, some have spent decades in their service to Jehovah, and he looks at you with approval, as long as we continue to do just so. What's the fourth way in which he prepared his family for survival? Well, let's go to 2 Peter chapter 2. 2 Peter chapter 2. And let's read verse 5. 2 Peter 2, verse 5. It says, and he did not refrain from punishing an ancient world, but kept Noah, a preacher of righteousness, safe with 7 others, when he brought a flood upon a world of ungodly people. You know, it's interesting. Paul and many of us recognize Noah as a builder of an ark, but Peter recognized him as a preacher of righteousness. You know, Noah was amazing. He was involved in a decades-long work that saved humanity. Yet him and his family still needed to support themselves, put food on the table, maintain a house. He had to help his family to stay spiritually strong, but he also found time to warn others about impending danger. He wanted as many as possible on the ark. Well, friends, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we find ourselves in the greatest life-saving work since the days of Noah. We have to be involved, warning others of the impending danger. You know, my wife and I, we lived in Nebraska for about 15 years. And there, they have tornado sirens throughout the cities that are located in the state of Nebraska. And why? Because sometimes these storms will come in unexpectedly. Now, do you think it matters if that siren goes off at 2 in the morning? No, you take cover. They want lives to be saved. Well, it's the same with us. You see, the storm clouds of Armageddon are on the horizon. We need to sound the warning. We need to alert people of impending danger. But can you imagine the day that Noah and his family left that ark? When every human on earth was a worshiper of Jehovah. Do you think that they looked back at all those decades, all of that effort, and had regrets? No, they survived. Look back at 2 Peter chapter 2. 2 Peter 2, and notice the application for us in verse 9. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. It says, so then, Jehovah knows how to rescue people of godly devotion at a trial, but to reserve unrighteous people to be destroyed on the day of judgment. Friends, the survival plan worked for Noah. It will work for us. Follow the plan. And can you imagine after Armageddon, as we start the rebuilding of this beautiful earth, it's hundreds of years into the new system, you're putting the last nail into the roof of your home. When you stand up, you realize, man, I don't have back pain, even though I worked all day. When you woke up that morning, you look another day younger rather than another day older. I think many of us are looking forward to that. And then you see a lion walking in your backyard, and instead of being nervous, you say, come here, kitty, 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 right? And just when you think the day can't get any better, you hear a voice you haven't heard for decades, a resurrected loved one. That's your future. That's your reality. But you gotta get on the ark. You see, you have to prepare for survival. Follow the plan and may you be among the happy survivors.